Welcome back to the Football Rig, ladies and gentlemen, with another episode of the Arsenal News Drilldown. Yo, it's been a rough week for Arsenal. For every single Arsenal fan, I feel really bad and sorry for you guys, honestly. I mean, the team has let us down, and it is what it is. But are Arsenal actually bottling the league, or have they already bottled it? Or are we watching the capitulation and the pressure finally breaking this team apart? And, with all this, I would say, dreams that are just dissipating into the wind. Because right now, Arsenal Football Club already slipped up a couple of times. And I think it is over personally, from my perspective. Mathematically, no, but you know what I mean. Like, the feeling surrounding Arsenal Football Club right now is just we are not in a good spot, right? Manchester City are hunting us, and probably they already killed us without realizing that so far. And this title race is starting to feel very, very familiar. I don't know about you guys, but it feels familiar to me. And here's the kicker. Where it gets serious, if Arsenal end up the season with no silverware, right? Not only we're going to see a panic attack across the whole fan base, but also a lot of players will feel that frustration, and they might actually leave the football club by the end of the season if we don't win silverware. And I will not blame them, to be honest, because, commitment is a question when it comes to this football club. I'm talking about potential exit, dressing room tensions, and rebuild that might be bigger than fans actually expected. People say, "Oh, it's a piece here and there," but it could be really devastating when it comes to the rebuild. But at the same time, the club is already lining up a couple of targets that we're going to discuss, strengthening some key positions. The wing situation that we have. And some of these names could completely change the squad next season. So for the real question is this the beginning of the collapse, or the final test before Arsenal become champions? And I personally believe it's the former, not the latter. Let's break it all down. This is Arsenal News Drilldown. Tune in. Whoever's tuned in, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're closing on 1,000 subs. And let's talk firstly about what happened with Arsenal Football Club. Honestly, I can't say much when it comes to the commitment, because we haven't seen this squad win something. So commitment, again, is a question when it comes to Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta, 6 years now down the line, almost £1 billion spent. And honestly, when you look at the football that we're playing, I'm not really entertained. We've been overdoing it when it comes to the defense. We've been relying on set pieces, which went dry, by the way. Our attack looks lethargic. Our attack looks really shitty, and we're just not the same. It's not the same, and I don't know what happened there. But ultimately, the worst case scenario, that if we do not win any silverware, I'm looking at the exit of Mikel Arteta, and that's might be the blessing in disguise. That's the only grace that I can think of, going into the summer without a silverware. That's just my opinion. I don't know about your opinion. Let me know what you guys think about it, right? Because this form that Arsenal are in right now is not a form of champions. It is not. I'm telling you guys, this is not a form of champions. It is shocking that within a span of less than a month, right, we lost the FA Cup. We lost the final of the Carabao Cup. And we lost to a Bournemouth team in our own backyard. So this is not a form of a champions. This does not speak like this team actually want to win. And I thought that the players would show something, more into it, like say, oh, we're gonna fight, we're gonna, try to do our best and all of that stuff. But this is not working out for us. It's not, guys. And I'm really upset. And I'm sure every single Arsenal fan is upset. That pick is hilarious. I'm sure you meant the Tom and Jerry one, and it feels like it, right? We are Jerry in that analogy. TK, big up to you, brother. And I don't know what's the resolution. What could be the solution for Arsenal to rebounds? And before I continue, I wanna give a big shout to my brother Taryn in the building. How you doing, man?
I'm gonna tell you how I'm doing, but please finish your sentence before you close. You were about to say something. Please finish your sentence, Sammy.
Please. Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know what it will take for Arsenal to get back to the winning, ways or victories. Because as things stands, from what I'm seeing, I don't see it. It's far gone. I thought the players would have had something in them to say, okay, we will battle, we'll fight. I even saw Saliba talk recently in one of his quotes that he said we want to die on that pitch, but I didn't see that. I didn't see that battle. I didn't see that urgency. I didn't see that desire, that hunger, from the players. Now forget about the manager. The manager is a complete bum, right? I'm not talking about Arteta here. I'm talking about the players themselves. Like, it's just, or is it just the manager's, shittiness is just, I don't know, bro. It's just a virus. It's a virus that we need to get rid of. I'm telling you, bro. But what are your thoughts? So, what are your thoughts, Darren? Tell me.
First of all, I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on. But Sammy, we are in match week. We're going to the match week 34.
Okay.
And Premier League, we're talking about just the Premier. We're not talking about Champs, FA Cup, just Premier League. You'd be hard pressed to name me 5 good performances, and we're in match week 34. That's our problem. We don't perform well. So when we do what we've been
first half of the season, I could. First half of the season, I could.
Sammy, our first game of the season was shit. We were awful. We were dead on our feet at Old Trafford. We got away with murder out of it. And you know what? On the back of that, it was result-based analysis. We won the game, so all is good. The performances have been, and listen, this is the rules of football apply to us the same way they apply to everyone else. Because you are Arsenal fan, I'm an Arsenal fan, all rivals. Everyone saw how Liverpool were playing at the beginning of the season and said to them, not sustainable. They only lasted 5 games. We did them better. They lasted 5 games. We lasted 5 months. Unfortunately, the season is 9 months for us. Yeah. If the season ended in March, we would have been Premier League champions. But you can't name 5 good performances because we have not been performing well. We got a North London derby, and we have to take that. Look at the state of Tottenham now. We have to take that for what it's worth, right? And then we had a couple of set pieces against Leeds, and it looked like we completely bopped them off the park. We haven't been good. So consistently, when your performances haven't been good, it catches up to you.
It does. It does.
A lot of wins this year, Sammy. We shithoused the win the first game of the season. We shithoused the win at home against Wolves. We shithoused a win away at Newcastle. Oddly enough, we got him at the weekend. It could be different, but we've been shithousing 1-0 away at Fulham, 1-0 Everton. We've been getting away with this. Our performances haven't been good, and it has caught up to us. This is why the Premier League. That's why when people like Kenny Ken, who's probably the Arsenal fan that I respect the most, when he's one of those guys that rate the Premier League highly or higher than the Champions League because it's so difficult to win. Over 38 games, you will get found out. You can put 7 games to a run of 7 games and win a cup. The Champions League is a cup, the biggest of the cups, but it's a cup. 38 games, we've been found out. Our performances have caught up to us. That's what it is. Simple.
Yeah, bro. It's just honestly, I know mathematically we're still in the title race, but it feels like it's gone. Honestly, I mean, but by the way, we haven't lost the league just because we lost to Manchester City. We lost that league quite a while ago when we dropped points against Brentford, Nottingham Forest, the loss against Bournemouth. All of these games, You know, if we would have done our job in those games, which are easier on paper than Manchester City on Etihad, it would have been a different story. We would have been 12 points ahead. We would have had some cushion. Even if we fumble against City, at least we would have that cushion to back us up. But at this stage of the season, I think it's a complete capitulation. And I want the manager out regardless. Even if somehow by a miracle we win this league, I still want Arteta out. I still want him out, bro. This is not. I don't want to go to the next season with the same football style, same bullshit, same press conferences, same rinse and repeat, bro. I mean, this guy is not learning, and this is the thing. If I've seen some sort of progression in terms of footballing wise, tactic wise, that yes, he's growing, he's getting better, he's getting the best out of his players. He might be missing a couple of players, but I don't see that. I don't see that. It's just regression after regression after regression from 22-23, which is the season where we started to challenge for the league, until this moment. It is regression, and especially the attack. And somebody shed a light on something that he said, okay, but he helped us in defensive to get defensive stability, right? But looking at our defense are good, bro. Just by names, like if you talk about Saliba or Gabriel Magalhaes, Timber, or Hincapie, even the goalkeeper, if I include that, these guys are elite. I mean, do they actually need coaching so that we can look good in defense, or the names are just enough for them to thrive? What are your thoughts?
I think he's coached them extremely well. This is when I give Mikel all the credit in the world. He's a fantastic defensive coach. Yes, Saliba. Because I think Gabriel was signed. Yeah, he did sign Gabriel. Yeah, he did sign.
Yeah,
he signed Gabriel. The defense. Anytime he's linked with a defensive player, of course they're going to be misses. Like the Kivior one was a miss. Get that? Cool, right? But typically, when it's that side of the ball, he has done well, and I give him all the praise for that. Unfortunately, the attack is where he falls short. And if the Jorginho, did you read the Jorginho interview piece?
I think somebody quoted him and said something.
So if we were to paraphrase, Jorginho says basically, practice was literally doing homework on set pieces. There was no joy in how we play football because Arteta, it was just hell bent on set pieces. And it shows. It shows in our performance because surely if we practice attack, work on our attack, when the moment comes, we're ready for it. Because if you practice anything, you become good at it, even lying. Right? This is how politicians are able to stay in office for 30 years. They've gotten so good at lying that they convince people of stuff that the normal person couldn't. So we don't practice going forward. We look out of sorts. It's individual brilliant set pieces, own goals, and all that stuff that helped us out this season. And there have been games, for example, the Man United game, where we scored from a set piece, scored from our own goal, and still lost the game. When it catches up to you, it catches up to you quick, fast, and in a hurry. We don't look like we know how to attack, which is criminal to say from an Arsenal fan. This is what we do. We play good football. We attack. We used to be leaky back there. He's fixed that, but the attack hasn't got stagnant. It's gotten worse. We're on. I'm not sure we get 80 points this year, bro.
Let's hope we do, bro. But I'm gonna read a couple of comments here. We made this battle by dropping all those points, and we're not gonna win this battle. I tend to agree with you, T. And it seems like you have a lot to say, T. And if you want to jump on, let me know, bro. I'll send you the link. People said I was crazy for saying he had to go win, lose, or draw. Now look, honestly, social joins. Maybe not before, but now looking at this, especially at the end of the season where pressure is at this highest, I see this manager cannot manage it very well. Even you can see it in his face. You can see the press conferences, the way he responds right now. It's just, he lost it, bro. He lost it. Do you think he lost the dressing room?
Yeah, because they're showing in their performances. Yeah, because we're better than Southampton, Sammy. We're better than them. We're not better than City, but we are better than what we showed in that final. We're better than Bournemouth. Try to do a combined 11 with an on-defense Guna or a positive fan. They're not taking any of those Bournemouth players. Alex Scott was a DM, and he was up the pitch for the goal for the game winner.
I'll take Groupie.
Over who?
Over our bum attackers, bro.
Because I think Evan Ilse is the better forward.
Even that, I would consider.
Did you see his goal the other day?
Bro. I'm telling you, bro. Our attacks, bro. Our attack is just horrendous. Yeah. Horrendous, bro. Horrendous. And I don't know what's going on there, but they are not able to click. They're not able to string a couple of passes together to get the ball clear into their opposition box, and it's just weird, bro. At this point, at this point in time, yeah. Go ahead, man.
Imagine we get a coach who comes to Arsenal and decides to prioritize the press resistance and ball carrying ability of a Skelly. Prioritize the flair of a Max, Ethan, Eze.
Imagine if he groomed him. Imagine that.
Yeah, especially in front of this defense. Because the thing is, right, our eyes don't lie to us. Ethan, there's something there, but Max, there's something special.
Yeah.
He is something. Great. You cannot take this gem and hand him over to Arteta. He's going to turn him into a left wing back, bro. Max, listen, your eyes will never lie to you. Right, and we'll see that when our goalkeeper is having more touches on the ball than our number 10. That's a system thing.
So, is it fair to say, Taran, that you expect this season we're not going to win any single silverware?
Yeah, done, bro. It's not happening. Okay. The Carabao and the FA Cup is what I thought we would win, and and those are gone. No, we're not winning the league, but when have we ever seen City put a Butler title? They don't do that, bro. This is not what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They have won every single title race they've been in. The 2 titles that they lost, there was no race. They were out of it, and Liverpool ran away with it.
Yeah,
we had our opportunities to run away. They don't. They are specialists in chasing people down. They are the Sharks, and I have to give them their credit. They are the big blue Sharks. Liverpool put 97 points on the board, and City chased them down. And they were 8 points behind in that season. Aguero, they have this ability to win their must wins. They had to win. They had to beat us. A draw didn't help them. A loss, obviously. There was one result that could go in their favor. The other 2 would have favored us. So we had a 66.6% chance of the game going in our favor. 33 for them, and they mustered us. They always find a way. The coach always finds a way. The players. You see Bernardo Silva. You see that performance? That's heart. That's know-how. That's dragging your team. He was wearing the captain armband for them. Odegaard had the captain armband for who looked like a captain on Sunday. But we're not talking about the team. Odegaard is 27 years old, my bro. Right now, Odegaard, he might have in one eye on the World Cup, one eye on the Premier League. And I'm of the opinion that if Arsenal Football Club are in the title race is neck and neck, and Martin Odegaard should go into a tackle. If he goes into this tackle, he breaks his leg, but Arsenal win the Premier League. He pulls out this tackle, he gets to go to the World Cup with Norway. He's pulling out that tackle.
Yeah, well, as Social Joint's saying, I mean, 4 years in a row, same flaws, same bottling. Players ain't follow you anymore. He is the false prophet. Now, I want to go back to the question I asked you: is you think we're not? I mean, we're gonna win? We're not gonna win a single silverware this season. Do you think there will be repercussions from that? I mean, aside of sacking the manager, obviously.
But what other repercussions can there be? These players are on contracts.
Great question, and I'm gonna start with this.
Yeah.
Gabriel Magalhaes could be actually leaving to Real Madrid. You know what? I know Real Madrid has not been spending recently, and for whatever reason, financial situation they have, because they just renovated their stadium, so they might be short on cash flow. But I believe Real Madrid is due to have a one crazy summer, just like they had back in 2009. If you remember when they signed Ronaldo, Kaká, Benzema, that type of summer where they, just splash the cash. And I think when you look at their defense, they need, players in the defense, especially the defense. And they're looking at Gabriel as one of the players that can actually be a good signing for them. Do you think if they, splash 100 mil, if this article is correct or there's any truth into it, do you think he would leave?
Possibly. I just don't think Gabriel is Real Madrid type of defender. I think Saliba would be the one they were more inclined to get because Gabriel is on the ball, he's average. Very good defender. Set piece, juggernaut, all that stuff. But on the ball, his passing is not. Saliba is the better one on the ball. But you can argue that Rudiger isn't great on the ball either.
I don't think they will go Saliba for one reason, because he refused them the first beginning when we renewed for him. I don't see Madrid going for him again, right? And this is another piece where it says also PSG is also interested on Gabriel. Not just Madrid. So do you think any of those teams with a pedigree in Europe could actually turn Gabriel's head and say, "Hey, listen, we want you in our squad. We want to sign you. We're an elite team. We're winners." Gabriel is not young, bro.
27 as well.
Yeah, he's not young.
Yeah, the thing is, like PSG, because he's played in France before. He's played in that league. He made his, he's made his name in that league.
Yeah.
And this summer, when he's at the World Cup, because he's one of the few players that haven't lost his spot due to injury or due to poor form. So he will be around men like Vinicius. He will be around men like Marquinhos and all these other winners. And there's players talk. Players joke around in dressing rooms all the time. So the jokes are coming for every Arsenal player who turn up at camp this end of it. They're gonna get trolled by the Chelsea man, the City man, everyone. Bottle another title. It's his head could be turned, but the only saving grace is he's on the contract until 2029, and we'd get a nice chunk of change for him. And like I said earlier, I don't have any issues on that side of the ball. I would actually trust. I don't want him here, but he is good to replace defenders. I don't have any problem with Arteta's defensive capabilities. This was his signing, and he's not one of the best center backs in the world. Cool, fair play. So could we? Yeah, we could replace Gabriel with another great defensive signing. But we shouldn't even be here. Gabriel should be a Premier League title winner at Arsenal, winning things at Arsenal. We shouldn't be. I don't want to get into the habit of selling our best players again. That's like a cycle that I don't want to repeat.
I understand that, but man, like Social Join is being Trump here, saying fake news.
I hope so. I hope it's fake news.
The source has a Turkish name, so it's probably fake. Look, guys, I understand.
That's a point though, because TK will know. He will know the fake ones.
Yeah, true. It's true. But you know what? I mean, there's some. I would say it could be a realistic, right? When the best players, and especially Arsenal, we do rate our the defenders highly, like Saliba, Gabriel, right? And it's only fair that these players are actually trigger interests across Europe from the elite teams, right? It's not something crazy. It's not something mad, especially if a team like Real Madrid are looking for defenders. And if PSG, for example, are looking for defenders, we're best to get them from a team who actually are not winning trophies and they have a solid defense, right? It's not a crazy shout to say, even if the news are fake or whatever. But I think there's some sort of truth in that, where it triggered some news outlets to report such an interest from these big clubs, don't you think? I mean, now we are looking at our defense is good, blah, blah, and all that stuff. But if we do lose Gabriel or Saliba, bro, it's going to be a long summer for Arsenal, bro. I know that you rate Arteta's choices when it comes to defenders, but you cannot just replace Saliba and Gabriel just like that, bro.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. And the thing is, right, Gabriel, if he were to leave, he owes us nothing. He gave us 5 years. So, and he's 27, 28 now. That's when a center back is in their prime. So I wouldn't begrudge him I gave Arsenal 5 years and then I moved on to a bigger club, right? Real Madrid is Real Madrid. Right exactly, now, PSG are on the cusp of a dynasty, bro. With the attack that they have, you add one of the world's best center back, and that's how you do, right? If you're a PSG right now, this year you had one of the world's best center backs. Next year you had one of the world's best. That's how you continue a dynasty. And they need a big boy striker because they really don't have one. And maybe next year they'll go get the striker. And yeah, Luis Enrique, I heard he re-upped his contract. Obviously, I'd be sad to see any one of our center backs go, because they are on the cusp of winning something, being great if we could get over the line. But
here's another one.
is this a French name? Well, this one don't have a French name in it. A Turkish name.
But it says troll there, so I hope he's just trolling. You know, the name of the account, troll touchline. So I hope he's trolling. But again, I'm telling you this because I think there's some sort of reality in this, bro. If we do not win silverware, that these players will start looking elsewhere and start to, want to move to a bigger club, want to win trophies, like you said, and especially the World Cup is coming right now. And if they do very well, then I think that interest will just increase from other teams like PSG in particular. Because why I'm mentioning PSG, because PSG can spend money, right? Mm-hmm. They have the money and they can offer whatever Arsenal are going to demand, 100, 120, 110. They will put that money and they will sign the players that they want. As long as the player wants to go, I think it's a done deal for PSG. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, French international. You play for the biggest club in France. Again, he played there, had 3 loan spells there. One of the world's best center back, going to a team that's about to do back-to-back trebles, or possibly could do about back-to-back treble. They've already had the league wrapped up. Listen, Saliba, he's just signed a new contract, so we'll get a big chunk of cash for him as well. There aren't William Salibas just lying around in it, but I do think there are more defenders available than there are actually attacking players. So the center back market is actually decent right now. Like, losing both of them.
Options.
Yeah, options are there. Losing both of them would be catastrophic. Losing one of them, I'll still be upset. But like you said, we're not winning, and I think you can let go of the if we're not winning silverware. We're not winning anything, bro. Like last week when you were on my channel over there, and you were saying to me, how is it no chance that we have to win the league when we're top of the table? But what you saying now? Because we're no longer top of the table.
Yeah, that's complete capitulation from the team and then the manager. I mean, there's no other way to describe it, bro.
Yeah, so you're still at 50-50?
Nah, bro, it's not 50-50. It's like 70, even 80-20 for Man City.
You give us that much chance, yeah?
Because, you cannot say zero.
Yeah, you can.
No, mathematically, it's impossible, so I'm not going to go there to say why we can't have a 0% chance, but like you said, I mean, Manchester City, they do have the know-how. They have pedigree when it comes to title races, and they are formidable opponent when it comes to challenging them, head to head like that. We've seen since back, what was it, 2000? When was the Aguero moment? 2013? No,
2012.
2012. So since then, Manchester City have put themselves in a pedestal that they are here to win stuff. And by the way, this stems not only from the manager, which is Pep Guardiola. This stems from the ownership.
Yep.
Right. From the top levels of the club, that they are here to win. They're not here just for the profit. Yeah, it's a profitable business, of course, but they are here mainly to win trophies and to build something incredible with Manchester City. And they're doing that. That you can see their approaches when it comes to summer, the backup they give to Pep Guardiola, the players they sign, and they're always there, challenging for the league, challenging for the UCL. Yeah, they only won one, but it could be the beginning of like you said, a dynasty for them as well.
Mm-hmm, yeah, they've only won one, but they've played in 2 finals in the past 5 years. You know what I mean?
So, that also, they lost to Chelsea.
Yeah, so they get there, and then that lost to Chelsea. You go back and look at that lineup. Rodri was on the bench. Ballon d'Or Rodri, one of the crimes that Pep has committed against football. That guy was on the bench as an sub. Yeah? Like, people will be forgetting shit. Like, Pep don't have blunders as well, but people don't mention it because he wins everything else, and he has a history of winning. So that's what happens. We see people don't blame Carlo for that 0-5 debacle against Liverpool, when they were 3-0 up at halftime and lost that, because he goes on and he wins other things. The thing with I see people, there was some commentary running last week that Man City over celebrated the win at the Etihad over us, and I was like, no, you know what? They didn't over celebrate because they weren't celebrating the game. They weren't celebrating beating Arsenal in the game. They were celebrating winning the Premier League title. That's why they were over celebrating, because they beat Burnley the other night. They didn't celebrate like that. They know that they have put the nail in our coffin. Because for us to have win the Premier League, we would have to not lose that game and win out. Win all our. So the point dropped there. The points dropped. The three points dropped the week before that, and we're not winning out. So I don't think we get 80 points.
Yeah, before I move on from the title race in the Premier League, looking at the run-in, right? City have like 3 matches away, if I'm not mistaken, and they are against the top, I would say, the top 10 clubs in the Premier League, and they are challenging for a European spot. Do you think, I mean, that's the narrative that Arsenal fans are going with. That's the positivity you're now speaking, right? That they say, okay, excuse me, that they're having a tougher opponents to face compared to Arsenal running. Is there anything from your side that makes you feel like, okay, they might drop points to Everton, to Brentford, Aston Villa, you know?
No, because the fixtures are one thing. They're informed. I'd rather be informed than worry about the fixtures. And at this point, they can be anyone. You see this Bournemouth team that everyone's hyping up that came to the Emirates and bopped us. That went to St. James Park and bopped them, man. That just won. What City wiped the floor with them? What City? Oh, it's Bournemouth. Bournemouth are going to give him a fight. Bit slap. Because Man City create chances. They know how to create. They know how to win football matches, bro. Our problem why we didn't beat Bournemouth is that we didn't create chances. We didn't. They created chances and they scored against us. We don't create shit. They create an abundance of chances. They're not letting this opportunity go. Every year, Man City used something to galvanize them. I remember the year when the 115 charges broke. They were on the top of the league when the 115 thing came. They rallied. They went on. This year, you know what they're rallying around? Bernardo Silva's farewell tour. This is Bernardo Silva's farewell tour. He has announced he's leaving, and they're going to send him off with the Premier League trophy. You see that performance on Sunday. Man was winning duels against Gyökeres. Bernardo.
Yeah
31. Bro. Small. That's heart, bro. He knows what it takes. He learned from the best. This version of Bernardo Silva wasn't Bernardo Silva when he came to City, but he came there was KDB there, Gundogan, all these men. He learned from the best. We don't have that. You know, we got people who left trophy-winning teams, Declan Rice, Eze, to come to Arsenal. Now they don't look like they know what to do because they're not empowered to play football, to take risks and be free. I've heard Pep say with his own mouth in press conferences to the players when they're mic'd up, hey, you're allowed to make a mistake. You're allowed to play, be free, enjoy the game. Do our players look like they enjoy playing football? No, our captain, our unofficial captain, Declan Rice, is looking up saying fucking shit every fucking time. That's not someone who's enjoying football.
Yeah, it's true, honestly. And then I'm sad about that Declan Rice, the 2 games he was the captain, we didn't win those games, bro. Oh my God. I mean, I feel bad.
Then he slaps it back on Odegaard, and then we didn't win that game either. The biggest game of our season, he subs off Eze and doesn't use Gyökeres all but 6 minutes plus stoppage. That's telling. There's always a message within the messaging.
That's why I want the manager out, Taryn, is for me, such games, you know, let's say, okay, they scored a goal. What was it? 60th minute, somewhere around there, right? Where they scored the second goal. At that moment in time, me personally, Sammy, what I would do is I would throw the kitchen sink, right? I would go play Diamond, play Gyökeres, bring the whole squad. You know, I don't care about defense anymore. I don't care if they score, bro. If they score 3, 4, 5, so what, bro? So what? You're gonna tell me, oh, it's the goal difference, bro? Get the hell out of here. So when is the last time this league went down to the goal difference? It was back in Aguero's moment, by the way. That was the last time the Premier League was decided based on goal difference and all that crap. But at least I would give it a go. You know, because for me, if you're losing, man. Just burn the whole house. You know what I mean? like try something. That's something that I never ever seen from Mikel Arteta. Yeah. That is why I don't want this manager anymore in my club, because he lacks the fight. He doesn't have balls, bro.
Why do you think he didn't throw the kitchen sink at it? Because Max didn't even come on. Why do you think he opted for the conservative approach rather than just take off a defender, throw an attacking? Why didn't he throw the kitchen sink at it? What do you think he didn't?
Why he didn't do it?
Yeah, what do you think he didn't?
Because he's goddamn pussy. I mean, it's quite obvious.
You know what? I think part of it is that he wants to preserve this legacy of not conceding a whole bunch of goals. Because we've only conceded
That's
3
even
goals.
worse, bro. That's even
Yeah, that's
worse.
what he is. Because this is the thing. One of the things that the defenders of him use is that when was the last time we got a battering? Like we don't get punched up anymore, right? We used to go to the Etihad and it's 5-0. You know, I remember when Xhaka went there in 2-footed.
But the draws are just as worse. If
Exactly.
I mean,
but last year, the entire season, they ran. I don't know if it was last season or the season before that. It was his record against the top 6 because his record against the top 6.
yeah, I remember.
So
Yeah.
that got blew to shits match week 3 this year when Liverpool beat us.
Mm.
You know, so now they had to pivot to run something else. And it's when was the last time Arsenal conceded to 2 goals? That's what it was like 2 goals. Well, Man United came to the Emirates and put 3 past us, and now they just move it to because if you open up and play against City, you run the risk of getting punched up, but you have to take that risk to the point you're making. That risk has to be taken because you're already losing, and he still didn't. Max didn't touch pitch.
Sometimes, Tarrant, this football club pushes such a stupid narrative. I mean, do you recall when Arsenal were not spending and they were like overhyping that the net spend? That, oh, look at our man. Who cares about net spend, bro? I care about trophies. What do you mean? So sometimes, I mean, like you said, the top 6 record, and you know, the story keeps going on and on and on, and I hate it, bro. I genuinely hate seeing my club going down that kind of pushing such narrative that are trivial in the world of football. Because when you look at it from after 10 years from now, nobody cares about such things, bro. Top 6 record or all that crap. Who gives a shit? Who gives a crap, bro? If you got battered 5 or you got battered 10, bro, it's gonna be in record for history. But who cares, man? A loss is a loss. You lost. That's it.
He cares about how he is viewed, bro. He wants to be in control of everything. He wants to, because now, as soon as we qualify for the semifinal of the Champions League, you let the press tell you about the stats. He comes out leading with, this is the first time in our club's history we're getting to back-to-back semis. So what? You can't tell that to Bayern Munich. They will laugh at you. You can't tell that to Real Madrid. And you can tell that to Everton. Yes. And so what are we doing? Like, what are you really flexing here? You know, it's like, I don't know if you watch basketball or you follow basketball, but the Lakers and the Clippers used to share an arena, Staples Center. They used to share it. The Lakers are hanging championship banners. The Clippers are hanging division titles. A division title is like you win under the old Champions League format. It's like you win your group. The mentality was different. That's why the Lakers have the most NBA titles and the Clippers have none. You know, so that's what it was talking about. Nah, bro, you flexing. And I said last week, you know, when we were on, I think we shit housed the way to our final.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe
because you know he is lucky. You know, it's like he's a cat. He's gonna land on his leg. Like Simeone is gonna pick him up and throw him in the sky, and he's gonna flip around. And he's on his 9th flight. But we'll go lose in the final, but that will be PR'd as progress because first 20 years later since our last finals appearance, we made it, and then you know it's one of them ones. 1 second, Sammy, go on.
Yeah, I mean, regardless if we do a race to the final, at the end of the day, if we don't win it, I mean, there's no point for me to even celebrate that we are in the final. It's just that kind of narrative is just weak. It's for the weak, guys. If you're in the final, you're in there. You have to freaking win it. You have to hold the trophy, and that's where you feel proud at that moment when you're hanging the golden medal, when you're hanging the trophy right in the back, and you're getting there. That's the feeling you want to enjoy. Not these silly records or stupid narrative that these PR are pushing from the club or from rivals or from the networks or whatever, like Sky Sports and all these crappy networks that they're trying to find a story that show that you know farms views and all that stuff, bro. I mean, it's just nonsense, bro. But in a good news, bro, here's a piece of good news that I can share with you, since I shared with you bad news about defenders are leaving. Salmon is gonna pre-agreement for the first professional contract with Arsenal Football Club. So we are looking to secure this young kid's future with Arsenal. I haven't really seen much from him. I mean, he hasn't been really offered much, and I understand why. because we do have, better options currently. I mean, Mosquera, Hincapié, uh, Saliba, Gabriel. I mean, that's why he's not having his opportunity. But I do believe he would learn a big deal from these guys. I mean, being surrounded by elite defenders, so he can have a great future with Arsenal. I just hope it doesn't end up like Heavens, who's going to Manchester United. So, what are your thoughts on that? Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's exactly what my thoughts are. Smart kid. I've seen little glimpses of him, not a whole lot, but sometimes you don't need a whole lot, right? Because I remember when I saw Saliba play for us for one against MK Dons, just one preseason game, and I was like, "Whoa, we got a player." Because I didn't watch him much when he was at Saint Etienne and Nice on the loan spell. But when he played that one game for us, I'm like, there's something there. I've seen this kid I think he came on, I think against Mansfield he played, or against Portsmouth. He played in the FA Cup games. Raw, but it looks like he had his head on right, staying at Arsenal, knowing that you're not going to get in front of the defenders we have. At Heaven, I think he made a bad decision, but at the time, I understand, right? He knows that he couldn't beat out Saliba Gabriel, but he looks at Maguire and Euro and was like, nah, I got a chance, you know. And even I think he played in Man United's last game, and you can still tell he's raw, young, but he is playing Premier League minutes, match week 30 for Manchester United. So he essentially probably just bet on himself and hopes it works out. But I like what this kid is doing. He looks good. Progressive passer, but you got to take the competition into account. But I do
wait until Arteta inserts that chip in him.
Yeah, but Arteta, he does well with defenders.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give him that. In other news, that a player that might be leaving is Trossard. Obviously, it's not a shock to have Trossard being leaving Arsenal Football Club. I actually wanted Gianni to comment on this because Napoli are the current leaders in the race for his signature. Also, Inter Milan are looking to sign him. I mean, we're not going to recoup. I mean, we didn't really buy him for a lot. I remember it was 27, maybe 28 million. And we're probably going to sell him around 18, 15, whatever we can get from him. Do you think it's the right move for him to go to Italy?
Yeah, he can play in that league until he is 35. I mean, we seen Man United fans wanted to get rid of McTominay for time. Yeah, he goes over there.
And he went there and became a Ballon d'Or nominee, bro.
And he's doing bits over there. Fair play to him. He's doing well. We've seen Lukaku stink out the Prem. Go there, done well. We're seeing half of Chelsea playing for Milan right now. All the Chelsea rejects are there. And Kuku's there, Tomori, Pulisic. That league is different. There's a litany of players that I see flush out the Premier League and go do well in that Italian. Even Lookman. People forget that Lookman at Everton and Fulham was shit.
Yeah,
he cooked at Atalanta. You know what I mean? So I think trust because he has tech. That league is slower. It might work for him. It's just, I'm not even worried about the money at this point. It's because he's been here for 4 years, 20-something million for 4 years. If you break it down, it's not really a lot. It's just the wages that could be a problem. But he's only on the contract until 2027. So if you can get money for someone who only got 1 year left on their deal at 31, let's
cash in. Yeah, we should cash in. I think so. And before we move on to the next players that we might sign, 3 players I have this week. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you guys subscribe to BBK Sports, Taryn, and show him some love. Like the first player that we're linked to this week is a player who we used to be linked to before, but before he signed a contract that is running, 10 years or 8 years, which is wait a second, here we go, Nico Williams. What are your thoughts of the player? Do you think we should look into this signing, or we just should move on from this player?
Yeah, move on from this one, man. There are people who I trust who watch a lot of La Liga, a lot of Bilbao.
Okay.
And this guy is a hot and cold, mostly cold. But when he's hot, he's very hot. Plays better for Spain than he does for his domestic club. We have enough of that. We have enough of players who bang for their countries, and in our system, they don't play well. Yeah, I think he's overhyped and overrated. I think we can do better. Bobby
You know,
Perez, Alexis Sanchez level on our left wing. That's. I don't think he's as good as either one of those.
I don't consider these players to be marquee signings, to be honest. You know what? But I do look at, if we're gonna sign, let's say, a left winger, for example, right? I don't think we're gonna sign 2 top left wingers. I think we're gonna sign one and probably a backup with him. That's if Martinelli leaves the club, right? For example, here's another striker that Arsenal are looking into, and I don't think he's a marquee signing per se. However, if you see the name that he's going to replace is Gabriel Jesus, right? We can get this player, for example, with a much cheaper wages, right? And we could mold him into the team. And if he turns out to be good, he turns out to be good. I just looked at this player and I looked at his stats. He's a Belgian international. He plays for Club Brugge. He had 13 goals out of 30 games in the league. 3 goals in the Champions League out of 10. Overall, this season he scored 18 goals and 6 assists. Also, he's young. He's 21 years old. So he's not that player. He's not the needle mover for Arsenal. But do you consider signing such players just to see if the potential? I mean, we can embrace him. We can unlock him. Of course, not before we sign a marquee signing.
No, we marquee signings, bro. We're competing with a team that has Erling Haaland, and if Liverpool unfuck themselves this year, we're competing with a team that has Ekitike and Isak. Isak is having an off year, and everyone is throwing him in the bin. He scored 20 Premier League goals, proven. Yeah, and Onslaught is staying. So give him another year to work together. We need to be in the conversation for one of the best strikers in the world, bro.
I agree. I mean, let's assume we sign Julian Alvarez, just for the sake of the art, right? He's a top striker. I'm sure you rate him highly. If this market opportunity represents itself, don't you think we should seize it and get rid of, for example, Gabriel Jesus, who is shit anyways, and we're paying him a lot of money, and we can get somebody with a potential with less money? Don't you think that is more, I would say, smarter business to do?
Yeah, but I'm not sure this is an upgrade on Jesus. This could just be a side pass. And then if it's just a side pass to Jesus, we're right back where we started. I don't know how highly you rate the Belgian league. Is it on par with the Portuguese La Liga? On that level? Or, yeah. So, he's striking for them. He's scoring what? I'm looking at his stats here. 52 games, 18 goals. I mean, Gyökeres in the Portuguese La Liga had better numbers than that, and he's struggling here. It just... Yeah, man, I don't know, man. These I mean, it could bang, but these project guys along adding more project guys to a project manager, this probably isn't the best mix. You know what I mean? So,
I look at these signings or even these links that we're linked to as complementary signing, if there's something like that, if I can call it like that. Like, I would go and sign the main guys, the marquee signings, the likes of Kvaratskhelia, the likes of Julian Alvarez, Rafael Leao, or whoever we consider to be our top priority in terms of targets. And then if there is an opportunity for me to even improve my bench with players that are okay with staying on the bench while they are developing, while they are waiting for their chance to go, and also they're not expensive when it comes to either transfer fee or wages, right? Because you cannot buy 2 players, you're gonna pay them 250,000 a week, and you keep both of them on the bench. That's just not smart, in my opinion.
I agree. Now, this Nicolo guy, you said he is Belgian, because it's showing here that he's a German.
He's German. He's German, but he's playing for the Belgian league.
Yeah, but this what kind of Trisoldi, that's not even German. Okay.
By the way, he was born place of birth, it says here Cagliari, so Italy.
Okay. So like, because yeah, I don't know, man. He looks like a German version of Delap. Like, he looks like big and just another wrestler. We already have Yuck. You see Delap, he is turning out to be shit. Because you know what? I happen to think if Kai Havertz was banging, that's who we would have went and got to back up.
Okay.
average. That's the kind of striker we would be having. But he hasn't banged, so here we are with Gyökeres still trying to figure out. You know what? At this point, man, we just need to like seriously, legitly. It doesn't even matter what players come in right now. Right now, the biggest change we can make is a new coach. Let the new coach come in and assess the squad and decide what. Him and Bertha will sit down and decide what type of profile striker they need. Because he might already be in the squad. You know what I mean? Because I'm saying someone who can prioritize and maximize Skelly, Ethan, Eze, and Max Dowman can make a average striker look above average.
Okay.
To the point, because we didn't need Gyökeres to score 30 goals this year to win us the Premier League. I think 20 would.
I wanted half of the numbers he used to score in Portugal. I didn't expect him to.
I think if he hit 20, would have been fine, because you can go back through the Premier League archives. You'd be hard pressed to find a recent Premier League winner without someone who scored 20 goals. Like just back to that.
There are none. There are none actually.
So
there are none.
No 20 goal a season strikers. No world-class players. You here we are. We don't have either.
Here we are.
We don't have any of those things, and that's the formula.
You're not wrong.
We're trying to reinvent. We know what the formula is to win these Premier Leagues. Is the imitation is the best form of flattery. We've seen what it takes. We knows what it takes, but we're not doing what it takes.
Okay, fair enough. The last player I want to talk about in the pipeline here is his name is Guts. All right, Mika Guts. Now this guy is a Belgian guy, right? Playing for Ajax. His numbers are not bad. 15 goals and 10 assists in Eredivisie this season. His contract runs until 2029. He's 20 years old. He's very young. As again, I'm not considering this to be our priority signing again, so that people don't go crazy and say I'm dropping the bar low in terms of expectation. No, of course I would want my club to go and sign Kvaratskhelia if they can. But if a player like him, who is shining in one of the elites, I would say, clubs in terms of academy, in terms of training, even in terms of their products. And when I say products, I mean players. We've seen a lot of players that come from Ajax that actually flourish across Europe. So what are your thoughts of these players? By the way, I brought also comparison matrix here quickly. I want to share my screen just to show you before you give me. Let me do this quickly. Share my screen. Let's do that. There we go. Quick comparison matrix. Let me know if you can see it. Okay. So this is the comparison between our current left wingers, Leonardo Trossard, Martinelli, and this guy, Mika Guts. I know it's a different league, but still, right? And this is per 90, right? And I brought several stats that are, related, I would say, to his position, right? Mm-hmm. As you can see, he toppled them in every single aspect, except few, like, for example, crosses completed, possession lost, right? But why is he losing the ball a lot? Because he attempts to dribble a lot, right? You can see the chances created, so it means that he's getting, he's doing a little bit riskier passes, I would say. Take-ons, right? That's why I would say the possession loss, because he attempts a lot of take-ons. Touches in the opposition box tells me that he is more a lethal attacker than these two that we have right here. So again, I'm looking at this player and I'm considering him as a backup left winger. What are your thoughts?
Backup. So yeah, backup left winger. Yeah, we definitely need that, because we need to get both of the ones that we have. So we need to do a 2 for 2. I'm never going to be the one to turn my nose up at Ajax, because over the years, historically, they have produced, some amazing talent. They have one of the best academies. I don't think you can, outside of La Masia and Leclerc Fontaine, there ain't been too many that produce better players than Ajax historically. So, yeah, you said he's 20?
Yep.
20, 21, yeah. But, that kind of conflicts with the narrative that we typically run as a fan base, is that we really want, competitions for spots, especially in the wide areas. Because right now we have a clear distinction between number ones and number twos. right? When Saka's fit, he's our starting right winger. Nani is the backup.
Mhm.
We may need to go away from that, and actually have left wing play where there's not such a huge drop off between from 1 to 2. So he could be a good backup depending on who the other guy is. So for example, if the other guy is Liao, this guy probably won't even play. Play much.
Yeah, but the season, but again, Taryn. I mean, here's some of the comments that are actually regards is decent. So, so again, what I'm telling you is this player is not the main target. Should not be the main target for Arsenal Football Club, right? You're not gonna go into the summer signing a 20 years old kid who's having a good season this season and expect you to win multiple trophies and silverware next season. No, you get this player, right? You get your marquee signing, whatever that is, Kvaratskhelia, Julian Alvarez, yada, right? And again, this is a complimentary, I would say, signing instead of the bums that we have, especially in the left wing. So, and I don't know how much the asking price from Ajax will be, but I'm assuming it's going to be around 30, 40, something like that. But I do think the player, looking at the numbers, I haven't really watched him play, so I'm not going to pretend that I've watched the Eredivisie. But looking at these numbers, I'm quite intrigued, I would say, to see these numbers from a 20-year-old kid compared to seasoned players like Martinelli, like Trossard, that aren't able to put such numbers, especially when it comes to the dribbles, especially when it comes to the shots, accuracy, and all that.
Yeah, because right now, like the take-ons and the attempted dribbling that you mentioned I like that in a player, right? Noni has that. Noni has he attempts to take on. The problem is that they're not very successful.
Well, no. Sorry, bro. This guy has 15 goals, man. What you talking about, Noni, bro?
Yeah, I'm saying 15 goals in the Eredivisie. He's not gonna, different league levels. Yeah, but I've seen, great players.
I've seen Suarez come from Ajax, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Many good players. They produce, they do produce, but it's been a while since they produced, a world beater.
Not long ago, bro. Frankie de Jong.
Yeah, Frankie de Jong, injury prone ass, and he's on his way out. Don't be surprised if we get linked to him, because Gabby and Pedri in that midfield is their mainstays now, and Danny Olmo has been getting more game time than him anyway. But yeah, man, we need two left wingers. I haven't seen enough of him to cast any kind of aspersions on him, but I respect Ajax enough as an institution to know that they produce good players.
Okay. So tell me, before we wrap up, tell me your feeling about the season so far as an Arsenal fan.
I mean, it's another season of disappointment, but obviously, I'm going into I've been Arteta out for like 3 years now, and will be a fourth one if he stays.
So you were back in Arteta at a certain point, like when he started challenging. Okay.
In 22-23, you couldn't tell me shit, bro.
Okay.
In 22-23, we had 50 points from 19 games. 50. That's title winning form. I wasn't doing content, but I was over the moon, bro. I'm a human being, innit? I got sucked in. Pause. But you know what I'm saying? Because we went into that season, there was no title winning expectation, and we were high flying. But from the remaining 19 games, we only mustered up 34 points to finish on 84 points, and City ran away with the league. But this season has been a historic bottle job of the highest order. Just when I think that one was. Because the following season, we actually did way better. There was a Premier League trophy at the Emirates Stadium in May of 2024. We didn't even Man City to lose. We just needed them to draw.
All right.
With, was it Palace that they played that year? The final game? Yeah, whoever they had. But this is what I mean about Man City. They had a must-win game. They had to win the game to win the title. And they won it. They didn't draw it. You know what I mean? So they always do the must-win thing. This season will be remembered as the biggest, because just a month ago, this team was primed for 4 trophies, and everyone was well, not everyone, quite a large part of the fan base. So to go from 4 trophies to none in a season is a colossal fall off to the point where we will see Tottenham get relegated and can't even laugh at them because us finishing second and them finishing 18th, we're the bigger embarrassment.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody here in the comments are addressing you, and that's actually a good topic we can talk about as well. Hi, BK Sports. How are you? Arsenal versus Newcastle United. Eddie Howe, same tactics, same method, same formation. Eddie Howe sacked from Newcastle. Now is he sacked? And Xabi Alonso appointed a manager of Newcastle.
That's breaking news. Is that breaking news? I don't think Xabi Alonso would have went to Newcastle. No way.
But this guy is just. But anyways, I want to talk to you about the Newcastle game. What are your thoughts about the Newcastle game? Do you think we have a chance of winning that, or do you think it's difficult? We're gonna draw. What's your feelings surrounding Arsenal Football Club right now against Newcastle?
There's always a chance, you know, and I'm actually gonna watch this one because I didn't watch the game last Sunday. I had better things to do. And I predicted a 3-0. I wasn't going to subject myself to that. So big up to you for sitting there and watching it and doing a watch along. I predicted a 3-0 and I firmly believed we would get punched up. So I didn't. I went and did other things. This game, I don't think we'll win it, but I do think we have a chance. But I've seen the same Eddie Howe guy get the best of Arteta over and over again. I've seen him punch us up over 2 legs in a semifinal home and away 4-0. I think tactically they gave us issues earlier at St. James's Park, and Gabriel bailed us out at the 90th plus death. Their midfield is strong. You know, I think Thug J is back in the midfield. Bruno G can do bits on a day. Tonali is a great playmaker, knows how to shoot, take shots outside the box. Their midfield will be a problem for us on the back of Zubimendi's dead legs, playing almost 2,800, 2,900 Premier League minutes. Yeah, yesterday on the Bruce Banana, I told Shane I predict that I think we'll probably lose this one 2-1. And I think the wheels have completely fallen off the Arteta train. And should they go up on us, it's panic settings. He won't know what to do. He's not a very proactive coach, and he doesn't react well when stuff goes wrong. Didn't throw the kitchen sink at Man City. We were up 2-0, wasting time away at Wolves, ended up dropping points. He doesn't react well to situations when pressure is ramped up. Playing Newcastle now when it's a must win because we must win the game. Even if we drew against Man City, I still think we needed to win out to win this Premier League. I think we played 2 games before Man City play another game because they have the FA Cup and then we have a kickoff next week. So we have to put 3 points on the board. And the fact that he knows that we have to and we must, it will be another game of him trying to control, and trying to play for like a 1-0 or so. But that's not conducive.
I think we're gonna win against Newcastle. You know what? I agree with the GK here. I think the team that we're gonna drop points against is West Ham. I do believe that because West Ham are battling relegation and they would put a big fight when it comes to the match day. Compared to Newcastle, who is in mid-table wherever they are right now, and they're not even gonna qualify to any European spot. So I think. West Ham are going to be the tougher opponent, in my opinion. But I think we're going to win against Newcastle, not by a massive margin. But which takes me to the other point, by the way. It's not just about winning right now. It's about winning and scoring goals.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if we're just going to go down to the wire, and let's assume Arsenal wins every single game, which highly unlikely, and let's say Manchester City does, which they're highly likely they will do, and they will win every single game, then it's going to go down to the goal difference. And if the goal difference are tied, I just learned, I thought it's going to be depending on what you call it, like the head-to-head, right? But it turned out to be who scores more.
Yeah, goal scored. Yeah, it's a game of scoring goals.
Yeah, but I don't know why I thought it was going to be the head-to-head matches, which we're obviously going to lose because we drew against them and then they won against us, so we're obviously going to lose that battle. But so it's about goal scored as well. So if there's any chance for us to win, then Arsenal need to go back to that form that you just mentioned, where we had a lot of points, and by the way, we were scoring a lot of goals. We were smoking West Ham 5 and winning here 6. Those type of games is where we need to get back to that kind of form, which I don't know if Arteta has it in him anymore to do it, honestly.
I think we'll beat Burnley and Palace because Burnley already relegated. I think Palace are safe and they're going to put all their eggs in the Conference League basket because I do think they win that. The Fulham game, I'm not sure. The Newcastle game, not sure. The West Ham game, yeah, this is the same West Ham that drew with City. Big up Dino Stavropanos. Matter of fact, it was that game that put us back into prime opportunity, prime territory, put the title back over to us. So if they can do that to City's attack, they can stifle our attack. Now, the only saving grace with West Ham is typically we blow them out there. We don't just win there. We usually fist them up 5-6.
I don't think that will be the case now. I really don't think so, bro.
Declan usually score against them, but when we play at since the 2-2 draw and Saka missed that penalty, every time that we went back there has been a slap in. So we some saving grace there. I don't know what it is about that bubble blowing stadium, but we typically do well there as of late. But the fact that Burnley and Wolves have already relegated, now you got them and Tottenham dancing for that remaining relegation spot. And I don't think Tottenham will be relegated by then mathematically. I don't even think it's possible. So yeah, we will get a hell of a fight. And I like Newcastle. I mean, I like West Ham, but I'm sorry, we're gonna have to Spurs fans will be rooting for us that day.
I don't think they will.
Yes, the hell they will. They will. Because that could be the game that sees them get relegated.
These comebacks, bro. Right. I don't think they will.
All of them, they're gonna put these men turn their back to their own pitch and try to throw a game against Man City. So they're shameless enough to be like, yeah, we hope Arsenal at least get a draw. Well, they'll hope for a draw, not a win. Because the football twist could be crazy too, with the fact that where Tottenham can go to Chelsea and beat Chelsea to stay in the Premier League.
Okay, that's fair. Well, any final words, Taryn, before we wrap up?
No, it's. I knew the ending would be like this, but it still hurts. I'm gutted. This was supposed to be the year, bro. Like Budapest, my favorite city in Europe. There are about 10 cities in Europe that I do love, but that damn Budapest, where the Champions League final is being played, even though I think we get to the final, I'm still not even booking. That's how down I am. I'm in a dark place with this football club, and I'm actively thinking about rebranding the channel and just do BBK Sports and Entertainment and talk about everything other than Arsenal next year if something doesn't change. I can't do this another year, Sammy. I can't. I can't. It's like, no. I'm supposed to be enjoying my retirement. You know what I'm saying? So when I want to do Arsenal content, I'll have a panel of Arsenal fans and we'll hash it out. But I'll talk about, and I'll go back to the NFL, NBA. I'll even start consuming some F1. But yeah, man, I think the Premier League is over, and I think we get to the final of the Champions League, and they will use that to keep Arteta in the job. So next year, we'll be traumatized throughout the transfer window again with link with everyone, sign no one to last minute Chelsea rejects. But yeah.
Speaking of Chelsea, by the way, what I was looking at, I thought Eddie Howe got sacked. I was looking at the news. The hot news right now is Fabregas might be coaching Chelsea.
I mean, he said he wished his career started there. His words.
Yeah. So we might see Chelsea balling out before us, bro. But
anyway. So another project manager at Chelsea, because I love Cesc, but I don't think he has the experience to draw on. Like, listen, Cesc, his name could be on the long list of managers who go to Chelsea and thought the grass was greener. The grandpa, all these men, they fired their own legend. Like Lampard is a bigger Chelsea legend than you, my friend. I don't even think Chelsea fans call you a legend, and they sacked him. Hayat Tuchel won the Champions League, so it's
and this is one thing I have to respect about Chelsea. I mean, yes. I know they are in a bad spot, but at least when they see 5 games you don't win or something like that, they would not even think twice. They would sack the manager, right?
Yeah. Before we go, can I ask you do you think Arne Slot's a fraud?
Oh,
Arne Slot, Liverpool manager. Think he's a fraud?
I think he's been found out.
And see, I agree. Think he's a fraud, been found out, but he has been hounded out. But he has a Premier League title, but Arteta is being protected. That's why I get annoyed.
Yeah, bro. Ranieri has a title with Leicester City, bro.
It's not an easy thing to do. to win a Premier League title, and he did that in his first year, and he's been hounded out. But the guy who hasn't won it and spent $1 billion is being protected. I don't get that. You know, social joins, that needs to be a social experiment why this is happening.
But, yeah. We'll see. We'll see by the end of the season what's going to happen. But I'm hoping for the best. At this point, I just pure hopium, pure copium. And I feel that we already lost. You know, I feel it. But I'm willing to, you know, look at a small glimmer of hope and grasp to that hope, you know, as much as possible, even though it's wishful thinking at this point in time. But it is what it is, man. I have to back up my team no matter what.
Have you looked at the Premier League table?
I did.
Don't you feel sick to your stomach when you look at the Premier League table?
I am.
Arteta did that to you.
I know. I know. And I'm not here to, you know, again, I'm not supporting Arteta, you know, I support Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, regardless of the manager. But the manager needs to bounce. That's definite now. Yeah, it's time, bro. It's time. I mean, if he has any shred of decency left in him, so he would have walked that door. You know, that's what I. But anyways, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Taran, again, bro. It's always a blessing to have you here.
Of course,
and guys, stay safe wherever you are. And on that note, take care of yourself. Cheers.
Peace.